Hello, and welcome to Newland.com. My name is Jason Newland. Please only listen when you can safely close your eyes. This is Let Me Bore You to Sleep. And it is Sunday the 12th of October 2025. Yeah, it is. Oh, itchy arm. It's been really nice weather today. And yesterday as well, actually. In fact, for a few days. Mind you, yesterday afternoon, early evening-ish, I heard a sound like... I wasn't quite sure what the sound was. I thought it was coming from a bush that was just above a fence, like a wooden fence, as I was walking past. So part of the park where I take Vinnie, there's two wooden fences either side, like where houses, the backs of people's houses are, their gardens, I suppose, yeah. Because the whole of the park, well, not all of the park, but a lot of the park is, well, majority of the park, in fact. Yeah, I'd probably say 85% of the park has got people's gardens connected, but separated by a fence. Not the same fence, different fences. And so I'm walking back through the park, the way back, because, I mean, sometimes it's not the way back, depends which way I'm going. But a regular kind of route is, I come out of where I live, I walk to the park, I go through. Vinnie has a sniff around different places he likes. He catches up with his friends, by sniffing their wee-wee, whatever dogs do. Downloads that information. And then we walk up. There's this tree. There's more than one tree, but there's this particular tree that bends over. And its branches probably about 3 foot away from the house that's there. I was going to try and get someone to take a photograph of me leaning against that tree. And what I was going to post it on Facebook, and I was going to say, I thought my weight loss was going well until I leant on this tree. Pretending that the tree bent over because I was so heavy. But I just forgot to take my phone out, and when I did take my phone out, there was no one to do it. Well, I did ask one person, but they just looked at me and walked away very quickly. So I don't know what that was about. Doesn't seem like a strange thing to ask someone, is it? Can you just take a picture of me leaning against this tree, please? Maybe if I wasn't wearing my swimming trunks. I don't know. It's weird how people get at Christmas. So I was walking back the way that I often go. I mean, that makes no sense to you, I guess, does it? Because you don't know which way I go. But after that Bendy tree, I turn right. Because there's like 8 different exits, I think, in that park. What is it? Wait a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There's 11 different exits, or I mean, you might call it an exit, you might call it an entry. Oh, wait a minute. An exit or an entry? I suppose that's correct, isn't it? But yeah, it's up to you, which depends which way you're going. If you're leaving or coming, whether or not what entrance or exit you prefer, I suppose. I don't know. But that's quite a few, isn't it? So I turn right round the corner and go down there, and then I turn left and just wander into the other part of the field, the part of the park. Well, yesterday I was walking back, because that's the particular way that I went yesterday. Sometimes I do it back to front. It really does depend. So I'm walking back. Vinnie's on his lead, as he always is. I think I was on the pavement, or the pathway, which is, I think it's made of concrete. A bit overgrown though. It's, the grass is growing over the edges, so it's not particularly, it's not untidy. It doesn't really affect my travelling experience generally. I mean, sometimes it can get a little bit too fluffy, But it's an okay pathway. I just don't always find it's big enough, especially if there's other people around. I kind of feel the need to get out of other people's way. I end up walking on the grass and getting my feet wet. And you could argue, well, wear shoes then. Yeah, all right. But it's like, at the same time, I don't want to be forceful and continue walking, so that they have to get onto the grass. So I find myself getting, because my shoes rather, they're not, well, they're supposed to be waterproof, but they're not. Which is okay when it's not raining, in the same way as having an umbrella made of paper is okay when it's not raining. Why would you have an umbrella made of paper? Don't know. So I'm walking down this pathway. There's no one else around, and I hear this sound, but it did sound to me like it was coming from this bush, but it's very loud. And it was like, like a kind of, like that, but louder. And I'm thinking, what was that? What have I just witnessed? Well, not visually, but auditorily, what have I just, I suppose, heard? Yeah, heard. What have I just heard? And I couldn't place the sound. It felt familiar to me, but at the same time I wasn't really sure what it was. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of like I wasn't, not a sound that I would hear on a regular basis. It's not something I'd hear every day. That's what I mean. If it was a sound of a toilet flushing, that's a toilet flushing. I'm not quite sure why it's coming from the tree, but I know this. I know the sound of a toilet being flushed because I've heard it on lots and lots of occasions. Probably about 6 times today, but let's not focus on that. And so it wasn't a toilet flushing. It wasn't some kind of magical beanstalk or anything like that. It wasn't that was like slowly growing and nothing quite as extravagant. But it's still like I was looking at this bush and I'm thinking it's not moving. I didn't expect the bush to start moving. I mean, that would probably be a weird thing to happen. Bushes generally, they move in the wind, but they don't start dancing on their own unless, if you're in The Wizard of Oz, maybe the bushes do, like the trees move around, don't they? But generally not here. I haven't seen many bushes tap dancing. So, not many. I'm generally like, what's going on? This is sound. It wasn't an unpleasant sound. It was, by the way, this is going on quite quickly in my head. I'm not having this 6-hour conversation within myself. But it is happening. Maybe it goes a little bit quicker than the way I describe it because I talk slower than I think. Hard to believe that anyone could think even quicker than I talk, I know. And I thought, And then my peripheral vision, because I'm looking up at this, because the bush is higher than me. It's not on the floor. I wouldn't be able to see it because there's a fence there. A wooden fence which divided their person's garden from the park. So if the bush wasn't above the fence, I wouldn't have been able to see it anyway. And the fence is taller than me. And I'm a good 9 foot in my dreams. So I'm guessing I would say the fence is about 6 foot. And this bush is above it. So the bush is kind of not hovering, but growing over. It looks like it's kind of just resting, like it's been on a marathon or something. It's just maybe be jogging around a park and it's just resting. If it was sunny, you'd think maybe it's sunbathing, that kind of thing. But there was no movement. And there's no other sounds. And as I'm looking at it, I notice movement in the corner of my eye. And in the sky, I look up, because there's movement, I look up and it's geese, because they go onk honk again. Just as I look up. And I thought, it's geese. It wasn't the bush. It's geese. It's just geese. And I said to Vinnie, you know what that means? And you know what? He showed no interest. Honestly, no interest at all in what the meaning could be of geese flying in the sky. And I said, Vinnie, you know what that means? He's like, okay, what? I said, this geese, do you know what that means? He said, that they're flying, that geese can fly. I said, well, I guess, yeah, that is one meaning of it, that geese can fly. Did you hear them? You know what that means? He said, that they'd be good ventriloquists. I said, what, Vinnie? What do you mean? He said, well, for the last half an hour, you've been looking at that bush thinking that the sound came from the bush. I said, it hasn't been half an hour. It's an exaggeration. And besides, if it had been half an hour, those geese would have been long gone. And then Vinnie pointed up and he said, look at them. I looked over and there was a long line of geese. They weren't the only geese there. And I said, do you know what it means? He said, well, I suppose you're going to tell me, so we might as well just get it over and done with. These conversations drag on a bit, don't they, Dad? I said, well, not really. I quite like our little conversations, our little catch-ups. And he stopped, he looked at me, he said, we're with each other 24 hours a day. What on earth have we got to catch up on? Which was quite a valid point, to be fair. And I said, well, Vinnie, I'll tell you what it means. It means that they're hibernating. They're about to go into hibernation. He said, hibernation? I said, yeah, it's about to go into hibernation. They are. So that means that the weather's about to change. He said, hibernation? I said, yeah. Are you sure they're not just leaving the country? And they're not emigrating? Or migrating, maybe is a proper word. I said, it's the same thing. And Vinnie said, migration and... have I really got to go through this? I said, go through what? Migration and hibernation, although they do rhyme, I understand how you might get confused with them. But it's not the same thing at all. Hibernation is when an animal, collects all food and just stays in a place and kind of almost shuts down their body to the bare minimum. Like tortoises do it, bears do it, crocodiles do it, various animals do it. And then they come back in spring. So once the winter's gone through, and they'll kind of eat what they've got. Squirrels kind of do it, but they don't. They kind of half do it and half don't do it. And I said, I think you're wrong there. I don't think squirrels do it at all. He said, yeah, but you see squirrels more in the spring and the summer than you do in the winter, don't you? I said, yeah. He said, why do you think that is? It's because it's hibernating, isn't it? Because they're hibernating, Dad, that's why. I said, no, I think it's just because they're cold. It's cold outside, so they're staying in with the central heating on, watching telly, watching Strictly Come Dancing. We both had a little giggle at that one. The idea of squirrels watching Strictly Come Dancing. Sometimes we kind of tune in with each other, and even when we're in a heated argument, we just settle down, and it's just such a nice little feeling. And we look at each other like, the animosity sort of drops for a little while, Have a little cuddle, and he looks at me like, okay, and I deserve a treat for that, don't I? And I'm thinking, what do you want? What is it, lassie? What do you want? Someone's fallen down a well? What is it? I thought, no, I just want a treat. What is it? You want to go out? No, I do, but no, it's a treat I want. What is it? You need your toenails cut? When am I ever going to come up to you and ask you to cut my toenails? What are you going to say next? Am I asking you to give me a bath? Why would I ever ask you to give me a bath? That's the same category as clipping my toenails. Or, oh, can you give me a worming tablet, please, Dad? Please? I'm going to beg you for that, am I? No, I'm not. I mean, get a grip. We've lived together 3 years nearly. You should be able to know at least something that I'm doing when I'm sort of begging you. And I said, look, it's the same thing every time. You just sit there and stare at me. Or you sit up and you put both your paws up and you just look at me and beg. But I don't know what it is you want. And I do ask you. He said, yeah. Well, I'm just thinking, after this conversation, maybe you can just tell me. And you know what? Vinnie looked up into the sky. I thought he was looking for more birds, but there was none there. Well, he was indoors, so he wouldn't see them anyway, but, you know, some more pigeons or whatever they were flying into hibernation. And he said, you know what, that would be much easier, wouldn't it, if we just communicated verbally instead of only doing it when we have weird conversations. I said, yeah. He said, the only problem with that is I'm a dog and I can't talk. And you're making all of this up. And I said to him, why would I make all of this up? He said, you're making it up because you're supposed to be talking about the Sunday papers and you don't want to read the news, do you? I kind of don't a little bit don't. So you decided to talk about geese in a bush, using a bush as a ventriloquist dummy, talking about wooden fences in a park, describing a park to people that are never going to be in that park, got no idea which direction you're going, talking to a Jack Russell, a ginger Jack Russell. I said, you shouldn't use the word ginger. He said, why not? It's me. I'm talking about myself. I can call myself Ginger. You're not allowed to call me Ginger. Well, that's not your name, is it? And we both had a little smile as well at that one. But then he did say that wasn't even quarter of a joke, that. But I'll give it to you because, you know, you're well-intentioned. I said, thanks, son. He said, well, perhaps you should just look through the Sunday papers, perhaps miss out the serious ones, because you don't talk about the serious news issues anyway, do you? I said, no, I try not to, if I can help it, because that's not what these podcasts are about. It's about gentleness and hopefully boring people to sleep and just, you know, having a chat, really. Just being chatty, being a friendly voice is kind of hopefully what I'm looking for. And Vinnie said, well, why don't you do one of the lesser serious papers, something like the People or the Star, the Sunday People or the Sunday Star, or maybe the Sunday Mirror. I said, they're all kind of similar, aren't they? He said, yeah, they are. But they'll still have serious stories in there. And then he said, yeah, they will, but you don't have to really indulge into those stories, do you? Do you think I should have maybe looked through the papers first and made a note of the stories and then talked about them? You know, before pressing the record button. And he said, Vinnie said, I thought about that before. I can see the pros and the cons. One of the benefits would be you'd be prepared, wouldn't you? Have more preparation, have the stories in front of you, maybe written down. And yeah, but the downside of it is, I mean, this is just my personal opinion, Daddy. I said, okay, Vin, what? He said, one of the charms of listening to you is that it's not prepared, that nothing is really, there's no preparation goes into it. It's the most amateurish production ever. And I just say, excuse me, what do you mean amateurish? He said, look, Dad, I don't mean that nastily. I don't mean it in a rude way. It's just, you're not the most professional person, are you? I said, excuse me, what do you mean not professional? He said, okay, well, you know, what have you done that's been professional during this recording so far? I said, I did say only listen when you can safely close your eyes. And Vinnie said, yeah, you always say that. That's what you say at the beginning of every recording. Half the time you're not even sure if you said it, so you say it twice. Fair enough. What else? The intention is there. I mean, the intention to create an environment of comfort and peacefulness and calm and sleepiness is there, within me anyway. He said, well, okay, that's fair enough, that's quite nice. I said, thank you. He said, no, I'll give credit where it's due, sometimes. I said, thanks. Anything else? No, I don't know. I'd have to listen back, I suppose. Well, really, Dad, what I'm trying to say is there's something quite nice about, for example, you're reading through a newspaper, something grabs you and you just say what's on your mind, the first thing that comes into your mind, no preparation, no script, no, you don't polish it, try and make it better, you just say what you say and hope for the best. And there's something in that, it's quite nice. It's not something that, it's not something you're going to see on television, and it's makes you seem more human, more able to relate to, possibly. I thought, oh, why are you being so nice today, Vinnie? He said, because I want one of my bones, if that's okay. So that's what he's doing now. He's eating one of his bones. He just looked up to me. Or look up. He didn't look up to me, he looked up at me. I don't think he'll ever look up to me. Oh, that's interesting. There's a story here I want to read about. McFadden. Right, here we go. So let's have a look at the Sunday Star. The Daily Star on a Sunday would cost £2.30. I need to get my money's worth, because this is, I think, £12 a month for this app, which gives me a bunch of newspapers and magazines. So yesterday I got, was it £1.90? So what's that? £2.30, £3.30, £4.20. So I need to get through probably 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, 3, 6, 9, 12. I need to get through a few to make it worth it, because that's how much it would cost if I bought the paper copies. So let's have a look. I'm not going to talk about the front page. So we have some weather, today's weather. Bearing in mind it's 6:30, I don't need today's weather. So Alan's okay. Ooh. Soldiers camouflaged as shrubs in a North Korean military parade must be praying there won't be had up for trees on. Oh my goodness, that's what it says here. Wonder why they're dressed as plants. And just have a look at there's a new Brits heading abroad are being urged to prepare for 4-hour queues as a new EU border system comes into force today. The entry-exit system, EES, involves people from third-party countries, such as the UK, having their faces and fingerprints registered to enter the Schengen area of 29 countries. I thought that was just normal anyway, having your fingerprints and your eyes done. That's like normal in airports, I thought. Yeah. Coogan's gruff star shocks fans. Steve Coogan got so fed up with people shouting "aha" at him, he started screaming it back in their faces. The catchphrase was a favourite of his ABBA-loving alter ego Alan Partridge. Yeah, 35 years ago. I mean, he hasn't used that, even in a TV show, he hasn't used it for over 30 odd years. The catchphrase was okay, the chat show host, back in new series, blah, blah, blah. Coogan got sick of his character and took a break from writing and playing him. I can understand it's got to be annoying, because repetition like that, you know, someone, even if someone just says, if you're at work and someone comes to you and says, "Oh, I love marshmallows," but they say it to you every day you see them, and maybe you see them 3 times a day, like break times and stuff, it's going to become annoying. Even though it's not a harmful sentence in itself, "I love marshmallows," eventually it's just going to be annoying. And once they know it's annoying, and if they continue doing it, then it's kind of gone beyond being annoying, I suppose. But then I think Steve Coogan... So I absolutely love Steve Coogan's character, Alan Partridge. It's my favourite comedy character out of all. Okay. I'm going to do tomorrow Jason's boring objects, Monday's boring objects. I'm going to go through, where can I write this down? Comedy characters. Oh, I've got nowhere to write stuff down. Oh, wait a minute, I've got a piece of paper here. Favourite comedy characters. Monday's boring objects. That's my plan. So I'm going to stick that on the wall. Oh, now it's on the floor. Oh, it's all gone wrong. I'm planning, that's what I want to do, because whenever I say, "oh, that's my favourite character," then I start thinking of other comedy characters that I absolutely adore. And I'm not just talking about English ones. I don't know about American, because it's, for me, I'm not talking about character. Oh, I suppose I am, aren't I? Yeah, so it could be Norm Macdonald from Cheers, or Mr. Craven. So he's probably my favourite character from Cheers, Craven, the postman. Just for being so, just for the kind of character they built upon. Even though I love Frasier, I preferred Frasier in Frasier than in Cheers. But then, thinking about it, I probably Kirstie Alley. Oh, she was so great at her character. So you see what I mean? I'm kind of be going in between different people. So I suppose in a way I don't think about the American shows as much as I think about the UK shows, because they, on TV, they're still giving us old shows from like the 1970s, like Alf Garnett and different characters that were just huge in this country at the time. And we didn't get a lot of the American characters, or the Australian, or the Canadian, or various different countries that had like cult heroes, like comedy heroes that played a part. I suppose, what's his name, who was in The Office, he would be, for some people, he would be like their favourite character. But for me, the American Office, it wouldn't be him that would be my favourite character in there. It would be the tall bloke. I forget his name now, but I saw him in a film the other day about an ambulance, and he's doing his basically it's about an ambulance. I'm not a spoiler plot, but it's really good. It's really good. Right, what was I talking about? Yeah, so that's tomorrow. I'll talk about some of the comedy people, but Alan Partridge is kind of up there for me as being one of my favourite ever. And he's still going. He's still doing it. All the other ones that I really liked are finished. Like they're not. Those characters don't exist anymore, other than on film, and some of them aren't even around anymore. So yeah, let's have a look. Well, what was this? Doers drag racy. Life is far from a drag as pop star Dua Lipa dazzles in a skimpy outfit at a world-famous gay bar. The One Kiss singer took to the stage for a special performance at the Abbey in Los Angeles. Dua, 30, was joined by drag artists including Plastique Tiara and Trinity the Tuck. They're cool names. I've never watched that show. Never. This I don't know why, just never watched it. She shared snaps with her 88 million Instagram followers and wrote, "A night at the Abbey with the Queens." Dua added a string of heart emojis, and among those liking the post was the account for telly show RuPaul's Drag Race. Plastique Tiara replied, What? Oh, Drag Race. Plastic Tiara replied, "What a moment. The sweetest doll ever." So, yeah, I don't really know what songs Dua Lipa has done. Which one is she? There's a lineup. I can't. Oh, there she is, I think. They put her into. So they've had she got a separate. She's got a pink dress thing on, and I've got a separate, and then I've got her into the lineup so we can see which one's her. Oh, look at this. Apparently Sigourney Weaver has met with Disney about a new Alien movie. The star, 76. Wow. Played heroine Ripley in 4 earlier films. 76. That's just... I just didn't know. I just didn't think she was... It's weird. I know that everyone goes through it. My dad and my nan, they go through that period of seeing the people that they watched on TV as kids, or even in their younger lives, their teens or their 20s, seeing people in movies, or maybe on, let's say movies, for example, and then seeing them get old before they got old. So my nan, I don't know if movies were around when she was born. I think she was born, I'm not even being rude, I think she was born about 1845, something like that. So, no, so I think she was born 1912. I think she was born about 1912. So I don't know if they'd have movies at the cinema, but they didn't have televisions until, I think my dad had a television when he was a kid, maybe a teenager or a kid, young, probably about 10 or something. No, wait a minute. He was born in 1946, so he'd be 10 in 1956. He'd be 20 in 1966. Which means... And he wasn't living at home when he was 20. He wasn't living with his mum and dad, I mean. He was busy making babies. So he said that they had a television in their house, which means, I'm guessing from the sounds of it, it must have been like early 60s, when he was maybe 12, 13, something like that. I should ask him. I don't think he'd appreciate that phone call. Not now. It's not that it's late, but it's just kind of a pointless phone call, isn't it? Ooh. Wow, okay, I'm not going to read that out, but that's interesting. Here we go. Oh, look at this. Conquer King to bow out. King Conquer will quit after the World Championships today. David Jackkins, 83, was at the centre of a... Oh my goodness. Right, if you don't know, conkers is basically just these things that fall out of a tree. You might have them in your country, I don't know. You might have to Google it at some point because it's hard to explain, but they're these little... They fall down in these little spiky suits, like jackets, and then you open them up and inside is this brown conker. It looks almost a bit like a toffee, but it's not. Trust me, don't eat it. Try and eat it. And unless you enjoy dentists. And then what you do is you make a hole through it. How did we make holes through them? That's a very good point, because you have to make a hole through it to put the string through. But it's not just ordinary string, it has to be quite thick string. But at the same time, when you get the hole through, it has to be not crack it, because the whole idea of conkers is to have a rival and take turns hitting the other person's conker on the string. So they dangle theirs, they dangle it down, and then you try and hit it with yours. So their dangly bits, you're hitting it with yours, and it's you take turns, and whoever breaks the other person's conker is the winner. Now, it's saying here, I'm not sure if it's even allowed in schools anymore, because sometimes you can hit someone's hand and stuff, and that, it does hurt, so yeah. He told the day, so this is, wow, I can't believe that. So he was at the centre of a cheating probe last year after being found with a metal nut in his pocket as he won the men's title. A metal nut. So you're going to notice that surely. I mean, the fact is, if you have a conker and you've basically painted a bit of metal shaped like a conker, and you paint it as a conker, the second it hits the other conker, that conker is just going to split into 1,000 bits, surely. Anyway, he's saying, I'm retiring after the tournament. I achieved my goal of becoming men's world champion, and my years are advancing. Jackins, who was cleared of cheating after a probe, said, I had the steel conker in my pocket to show children for some fun, but I didn't enjoy all the controversy afterwards. People are going to notice if you're using this to suddenly bring out something that's steel and it's silver, because conkers are quite distinctive in their look, you know. If you're in a restaurant and someone asks for a curry and you give them eggs on toast, they're going to notice. That's what I'm saying. Organisers expecting 256 players in Southwick, North Ants, said King Conker's steel nut will... I don't know why that's funny. King Conker's steel nut will be locked inside a transparent box and placed on show to prevent suspicions. I don't know why. Just leave him alone. He's devoted his life to something amazing. Just let him, leave him. Leave him be. He's 83 years old. Leave him be. What's this? Lewis Hamilton said, okay, I'm not going to read that out. It's a nice thing, but right, let's go. What? Right, something about Gaza. Paul Gascoigne, that is. Right. So it's a thing about Halloween. we had quite a bit of I know some countries did quite a bit of a history of stuff like that. Jude Law says it's not cool that he's been viewed as a screen heartthrob. Yeah, it must be annoying that. That's so annoying. The British actor 52 has moaned that being labelled good looking by fans and film bosses was always like a bit of a limitation. Yeah, again, I completely understand. It's held me back, being beautiful, being handsome, and people always just assuming you're giving me stuff and, you know, getting out the way, and pretty much just because I was, like, looked amazing. It does get a bit boring and a little bit tedious after a while, and it is limiting, as he says. The Lewisham-born actor or Oscar nominee has starred in a string of hit movies, including The Talented Mr. Ripley. Not really held him back then, is it? Oh, anyway. But he revealed that he originally rejected the role because he was worried he was chosen for his looks. I've had a similar thing. I remember saying to after a job interview, I said, do you want the job? And I said, I'm not sure if I do. And I said, why? I said, well, I'm a bit concerned, to be honest, that you're only offering me this job because of my looks, because of my gravitas, my complete handsomeness and sexiness. And she said, no, it's just because we need someone to clean the toilets. So, you know, you can always sometimes get it wrong. He revealed that he originally rejected the role because he was worried he was chosen for his looks. Jude said, I'm very lucky I didn't turn that role down because it changed my career. But he added, one of the doors it opened was this attention, yes, to what I look like, and I still find that shallow and frustrating, if I'm honest. I do, I get it, I do. It's hard. I mean, it's, and I'm sure Cillian Murphy probably feels the same way, you know, because if only he wasn't as good looking, he probably would have got better parts. Oh, wait a minute, he won an Oscar recently, didn't he? And he was one of the greatest TV shows ever, Peaky Blinders. But yeah, I mean, generally, he wouldn't be taken seriously. Oh, the Oscar was a movie about nuclear bombs. Okay, maybe he was taken seriously. Oh, I mean, he's all, I mean, Cillian, is it Killian or Cillian? I'll ask him when I meet him. I'll ask him when he wakes up. He's having a little snooze at the moment. Jennifer Lopez looks so stylish as she shoots a telly show in New York. The singer and actress wore a tailored red outfit, a big hat and sunglasses as she strolled down the city's walkways. J-Lo, 56, was in Manhattan shooting a new Netflix thriller, The Last Mrs. Parrish, which is set to be released next year. I don't really know what that story was about, really, to be honest with you. Oh, look at this. Gen Z's revival for CDs. By the way, I've noticed, I'm not judging, I've just noticed that some people in this country have started saying Z instead of Z. And we don't say Z in this country, we say Z. Someone the other day said to me, talking about Generation Z, and I thought, oh, I'm not judging, I'm just noticing. It's generation. If you're going to say Gen Z, it's Gen Z, not Gen Z. If you're in, England, it's our language is changing, fam. I just don't know. I mean, I did mention it to her. I said, it's it shouldn't really be Gen Z. It should be Gen Z, not Gen Z. And she just shouted, "Allow it." So I just, okay, fair enough. Compact discs are making a comeback, sparked by Gen Z music lovers who think retro is cool. Okay, it's really weird, isn't it, when something that it does, for something to be called retro, which is something that perhaps I'm still using, you know, although I don't have any CDs anymore, I just stream. But it does make me wonder, though, you know, just if the internet went down, I literally can't listen to any music. It's a weird way to be, isn't it? It's a weird kind of system. I wouldn't have any movies. I got no videos, no DVDs, no CDs, no albums. And I have to listen to thousands of my own recordings. And that would be boring after a while. After about 20 years, I might get fed up listening to myself. Pop queen Taylor Swift is cashing in on a craze by releasing 18 versions of her new album in the format of a CD, compact discs. The fact that they're having to put the word compact discs so that the readers know what they are. I did often wonder what CD stood for, actually. The revival has been embraced by young fans desperate to have physical copies of an album instead of listening online. High street retailer HMV said CD sales had grown for the past 4 years. Superfan Laura Wiley, 22, has bought 6 editions of Swift's The Life of a Showgirl and wants a CD player for Christmas to play them on. Just buy a CD player. If you bought 6 editions of the same thing, she's 22 years old. She's 22. I'm just saying she's 22. Buy a CD player. At 22, I don't think I would be waiting to see what Santa's going to bring me for Christmas. If I need something, I'd probably go and buy it. At 12, fair enough. 22? Yeah. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe things are different now. Maybe that's where I'm going wrong. Oh. I want a new dog for Christmas. Vinnie, stop trying to eat my stuff. He's trying to get into these. I've got these, what are they called? Cheddar cheese twists. They're just like little biscuit things, and he's trying to get to them, but when I gave him one yesterday, he didn't want to eat it. So he likes the smell of them because I suppose they smell cheesy. He won't eat it though. So let's have a look, see what's here. The winner of one of... Perhaps that's what I need to do in the future. Start releasing CDs. Should I start releasing CDs for people to listen to? I could do, you know. Oh, what's this? Vic's being strict. Vicky Patterson, whoever she is, says her fella is hoping she gets the boot from Strictly Come Dancing, but they just call it Strictly for short. Why not come? Why not dancing? Why choose the first word? The reality TV star, Wright, joked that she's too tired from dancing on the hit show to perform the mattress mambo with her husband. Wow. That was a bit rude, wasn't it? The mattress mambo. Oh, look, stars who speak with common accents are more likely to be trusted in the celebrity traitors than posh rivals, say language boffins. That's another tip. There's quite a few of these new TV shows that have popped up, I've noticed, where they're putting groups of people together to lie to each other, or, well, basically to lie to each other, but or to survive, or to all these different things, but in more UK situations rather than being on a beach, you know, like the survival things. And I can't follow them all. It's enough for me to follow one, Big Brother. I'm not saying it's enough for me to follow one Big Brother. I mean, Big Brother's the show that I follow. I can't follow all the different shows. Apparently we can't sneeze when we're asleep. Did you know that? It's hard to test though, isn't it? Because you'll be asleep. Ryan's not nuts for lads. Ryan Reynolds says he would have given himself a punch-in vasectomy if his son had been his first child. I don't know what that means. The actor has 4 children with wife Blake Lively, daughters James 10, Innes 9 and Betty 6, along with lad Olin 2. James? Is that a new name for... I've never known it. I've heard... not heard a female called James before. Jamie? I mean, there was... Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's a new thing. It's a trend. Not something I really need to focus on, because the chances of me having any kids these days is... To be fair, I'm not even sure if there's any more frogs in the pond, if you know what I mean. Ryan 48 has now joked raising 3 girls has been so easy compared to handling a little boy who has to break everything. Okay, right, let's go back and see how old his daughters are. At the moment, 10, 9 and 6. Okay, let's catch up in 10 years' time and see what else you've got to say on the subject. Let's revisit this, Mr. Ryan Reynolds. Raising 3 daughters is so much easier than raising a boy. Yeah, up till now. Up to teenage years. Let's see how well you get. Let's see how many movies you produce once they hit their teenage years. Either hardly any, or that's all you'll be doing. I've got to make another movie. I wish I could be at home with the kids. I've got to make another movie. He added, Olin came out with 3 things on his mind. What? It was... Okay. So, Olin is 2. I think basically what he's saying, if his first child would have been a male, he wouldn't have had any more. I don't think he realises what's coming. Fox hits a bad fit for Brits. Sam Fox says she doesn't like playing gigs in the UK because Brits don't appreciate her singing. Oh. The 59-year-old who shot to fame as a topless model in the 1980s said there was still a stigma around her page 3 days. Speaking in the latest edition of Record Collector magazine, Sam said she didn't feel appreciated by the British public. She said, I've had 5 top 10 singles in Britain, 15 top 40, but I don't work here a lot. The page 3 stigma still sticks, unfortunately, but it's a big world out there. So we've got Peter Innes, Sam's biggest fan, said he's 53 from Sunderland, said that he didn't realise that Samantha Fox was a singer. He said, I know Sam Fox are 2 things, and neither of them is her being on stage. Wow. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, I only remember one of her songs. It was I want you to touch my body, your heartbeat next to mine, touch me. That was quite a good song. They've made a film based on the life of John Bishop. That's right, a Hollywood movie that uses the Scousers star's rags to riches comedy career. Will Arnett plays him in the flick called Is This Thing On? Maybe Brad Pitt will call me up one day to say he's playing me in a blockbuster based on this column. Although it's been said comic Joe Wilkinson in set would be a better fit. I kind of like, why doesn't he play himself? Really? Maybe not a younger version of himself, but he's not an old man, you know? He's a comedian in the UK, by the way, in case you didn't know who he is. John Bishop. Anyway. Golden Smalls. Wow. 6 foot tall football icon David Beckham looks up to basketball giants Shaquille O'Neal and Yu Ming. Golden Balls was dwarfed by 7'1" Shaq and 7'5" Yao. Film star Jackie Chan left was also in their shadow at the NBC China Games. Wow. It's really weird because he does look really short compared to them. But then Shaquille O'Neal looks significantly shorter than, well, I guess it is 4 inches. It just goes to show what I said all along, 4 inches is quite a lot. What have we got here? Brad and Ines So at Home. Brad Pitt and Ines de Ramon are said to have moved in together after 3 years of dating and are happier than ever. The 61-year-old actor and 32-year-old jewellery designer have reportedly taken the next step in their relationship and are now fully living together. Okay, okie dokie. The pair, who were first linked in 2022, made their red carpet debut at the Venice Film Festival last year, where they appeared together for the premiere of Pitt's F1 movie, which I didn't watch. I never really, I think it's because I don't drive that perhaps I don't appreciate Formula One. And how hard is it to say formula? F1, Formula One, F1. I don't know. Is it a hard word to say? Maybe it is. He's so happy and in love. They are really making their home into a house. They were making their home into a home. I think what they meant to say there is they're making their house into a home. Because if you're making your home into a home, it was already a home, then you've not really done anything, have you? Another insider added the relationship is going really strong, describing the couple as happier than ever. I'm really pleased about that, because sometimes I do get a little bit concerned and, you know. Superstars flooded London streets for the capital's annual film festival. Emma Stone brought the sunshine in bright yellow mustard maxi dress at the 69th London Film Festival. Hollywood heartthrob George Clooney was also in attendance, along with his Love Actually and Nanny McPhee star Emma Thompson. Clooney took part in a Q&A at a recent screening of his latest movie, J. Kelly. Okay, that was... What's her name? Emma Stone. Oh, she was in Spider-Man, wasn't she? A few years back. Radio legend David Diddy Hamilton can't sell his personalised number plate D1DDY because of fair enough. Why did he wait till now, though? I mean, if you had a number plate like that, why wouldn't you want to try and sell it when the person... I mean, he's had like 30 odd years of that person being hugely famous to maybe cash in on the number plate. Oh well. Apparently, Nicole Schwarzwinger needs to work on her manners. The Pussycat Doll kept fans waiting for a gig at London Royal Albert Hall on Monday. It started an hour late. The audience was rightly annoyed when Nicole finally walked out on stage. There was no mention of the delay, no explanation, and no apology. She acted as though everything was fine and dandy. Throughout the concert, Nicole thanked her fan for being so amazing. A better way to thank them would have been to turn up on time. Ooh. It ran so late, many people had to miss the second half so they could get trains home. And some of them had paid more than £140 for a ticket. Okay. Bit moany, but there you go. Ooh. I'm just looking at this. Gleave, out and about on the celebrity beat. Olivia has no plans to keep mum. Olivia Bowen, I don't know who that is. The Love Island star is happy for viewers to see her warts and all because she wants the series to be genuine. It was filmed while she was pregnant with her second child, so there were plenty of ups and downs. What, Love Island? They filmed Love Island with her being pregnant. Really? That seems weird. It was filmed while she was pregnant. Plenty of... Olivia told me it's a really authentic show. If something happened to upset me or when I was struggling with pregnancy, we'd show the rawness of those emotions. I'm a very emotional person and I wear my heart on my sleeve. Olivia Sounds messy. Olivia filmed the serials with her husband Alex. She added, we're just both open books. We haven't felt the need to keep anything back. Sometimes it's a good idea to keep some stuff back. You know? Olivia and Alex, Parenthood sponsored by Glade, kicks off tonight. Oh, it's a different TV show. Oh, look, what's this? Filming Gogglebox is just chaos for Georgia Bell. The mum often lets her 2 kids join her on a sofa, and they don't always behave. She told me, it's good fun having the kids with me, but sometimes it is chaos. I have to tell my boyfriend to take them out. Georgia co-star and pal Abby Lynn added, it's hard for a 3-year-old to sit and focus on the traitors. They're rather than... So I got bored with that one. Catherine Jenkins is one of the kindest people in Hollywood, or in showbiz, sorry. When I was starting out in the journalism, this is Gleave who's talking. When I started out in journalism, I worked at a local paper in Wales. As you'd imagine, it was pretty hard to get celebrities to do any interviews. Is he saying there's no interviews in Wales? Any celebrities in Wales, I mean? That's a bit rude. Catherine was always super helpful and generous, though. Last week I bumped into her at the Attitude Awards and she was as charming as ever. Every glamorous singer gets branded a diva at one time or another, but I can assure you, Catherine is only a diva in the best possible way. Oh, I actually love Catherine Jenkins. Space Ark on the way. This stunning new spacecraft promises to deliver everything from medical kits to drones anywhere on Earth in less than an hour. What? The Ark capsule is the size of a large coffee table and will re-enter Earth's atmosphere before landing by parachute. Dubbed an orbital drop pod, Ark would store essential cargo in orbit and release it on demand to remote spots. Justin Fiaschetti of its designer Inversion said Ark is designed to bring mission critical supplies from orbit. That sounds like a good idea actually, so in an emergency they can get stuff. Nudists get their Xmas baubles out. Oh my goodness. Naked bash at Boozer. Nudists will tuck into a tasty Christmas dinner and play Skittles at a country pub. Naturists from across the country have been invited to enjoy stark as larks this Yuletide, and there will be an exclusive naked-only bar, plus separate loos so other pub-goers don't have to see their festive baubles. Organisers British Naturism says this will be a great opportunity to catch up with old friends and meet new ones in a naturist setting. Punters can choose from a 2 or 3 course meal at the Mill Arms in Dunbridge near Southampton. For those wanting to celebrate in style, there are rooms available so they won't have to drive home. The train station is just 2-minute walk from the Boozer. That's a pub, by the way. For those wanting to leave after last orders. British Naturism hosts the same event last year and will soon release tickets for the gathering on December the 13th. I might head up there. I won't get nude, but I can just have a look. Right, let's move on. The other day I was sitting outside. I was in a park and I sat down and someone came up to me and said, "Are you okay?" I said, "No, I'm just concerned about something." And he said, "What?" And she sat down next to me and said, "What are you concerned about?" I said, "I'm just concerned about Brad Pitt and whether or not he's turning his home into a home. You know, his relationship status. I just been so concerned about him." She said, "Don't worry, he's found someone new and he's moved on and he's doing quite well." I said, "Oh, thank goodness for that." Jack it in or else. Legal plea to Union flag fans. Folk who put folk. We don't say folk around here. Folk. Folk who put up flags on lampposts and bridges face being sued or even going to jail. Really? Crime expert Theodore Martin said, "Lawsuits and criminal proceedings are inevitable. So they're calling them flaggers. So it's against the law to put a flag up." Didn't know that. I don't put flags up, but I didn't know it was against the law. Did you hear that was a weird noise? Let's have a look. Ooh. Just checking out. SAS. No, that's not. All this looks good. A kick up the 70s. Two pals are smashing it after gaining karate black belts at the age of 79. Beryl Bellamy and Susie McPherson undertook a 6-hour assessment which included smashing woodboards, to get their first Dan black belts. The pair trained at Nishikan Martial Arts, Wincanton. Beryl was one of the person's names. Beryl said, "Friends think we're mad, but I think it's a frame of mind." It can be both, can't it? That is pretty amazing. That's very, very impressive. I mean, just the idea, 6-hour assessment. 6 hours having to do anything. Oh, look at this. There's okay. Just having a look. Salads. Apparently, eco-friendly food producers have taken a bite out of throwaway packaging by making it edible. The new additive-free packaging for cucumbers made of whatever, and you can eat it. Oh, that's nice. I think we're nearly at the end of them. This has been quite good, you know. This hasn't been a lot of Addison Rae. Okay. So I just I don't know who Addison Rae is, but just a picture of what is this one? Wired. Okay, so there hasn't been a lot of actual news stories that I've had to avoid, which is pretty good. So what we're talking about here, the stigma of finding fame online is dwindling, says Addison Rae. The influencer turned singer is proud of her roots and said in W magazine, "Social media was only an opportunity to push myself towards something I always wanted, the dreams and the hopes that were always there." Good for you. Cool. Okay, I can't just what Robbie Williams. Okay, look at this. A legacy of craftsmanship and true style. Limited edition only chronograph watch was £129.99. Now £129.99. Now only £99.99. It does look nice. If you like watches. Ooh. Lags not oct to have darts. Okay. Just a mum gave birth in her bathroom with only son Theo 7 to help. I hope he gets some therapy. Hard hitting. Right, okay, so I'm not gonna read that. Oh, look at this. Just having a look. There's stuff about gardening. I think I'm going to skip that one. There's a thing about Cliff Richard, a book. Cliff at 85. There's no stopping him. Stuff about cars. I'm probably not going to... The Million Dome Heists. That's a book. Right, yeah, I'm just having a look. What is this? Travel. Talking litter bins. I'd heard whispers of these at a Dutch family theme park, but didn't believe a word of it. But it's true that at Efteling near Tilburg in the southern Netherlands, there are indeed some garrulous garbage containers. I've got no idea what that word means. Not garbage or container, but the garrulous. The whole bowl figures, inspired by a children's verse character, call out to passing visitors to put their litter in its mouth and thank them when they do. It's a fun and friendly way to send an anti-litter message. That sounds quite a nice place to go. It does, you know. Boy, it might. Something I quite like to go to. Probably not for someone on their own to go to, but Yimby.com. I've never heard of that before. What's Yimby? See if there's any sport I want to read about. Nope. 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 Although I did watch the boxing last night, and the main one in the UK did not. Yeah, I won't spoil it, but yeah, it was a little bit controversial at times, actually. Yeah. Right, it's too late because they do the newspapers early, so they don't get to sort of get the results of the boxing and stuff that's on it late at night. Because I think the boxing finished about, I don't know, 11:15, I think. Right, which brings us to the end of this. I think all we've got left now is the stars. I'm trying to avoid the pub quiz, but like so many different things. Oh, it's TV shows as well. Big Brother's on again tonight, which is good. Oh, here we go. This is Russell Brand. The stars with Russell Brand. Aries. Making time for fun and companionship will help to keep relationships sweet. Sports, playing outings, or playful outings, and laughter with children lift spirits, while romance sparkles for singles. Taurus, although some confusion arises, talking things through brings benefits. Your sharp mind and optimism help with financial matters. Plan a special journey with someone who means a lot. Gemini, travel brings delight, especially when shared with cultured companions, while visits to galleries and museums prove enriching. Exploring beauty feeds the soul. Cancer, creative expression brings deep fulfillment, whether through art, writing, or poetry. Your words can even become a source of income. Harmony prevails at home and work. Leo, resilience reigns, setbacks fail to dampen your determination, proving the strength of a true champion. In career or personal battles, your drive and passion rise above rivals. The most important one, mine, Virgo. Careful planning ensures early decisions work in your favour, particularly financially or with overseas matters. You weigh options wisely. Joyful romance may blossom now. Cool. Libra, after a rocky start, life settles down, allowing you to savour uplifting moments. Appreciating the good around you keeps your mood serene and balanced. This is time to relish harmony. Scorpio, an intriguing week unfolds, filled with fresh ideas and productive results. Though you expect teamwork, circumstances push you to work alone, which is satisfying. Sagittarius, a cherished cause regains momentum, reigniting enthusiasm that once felt stalled. You reconnect with like-minded souls who never doubted you. Shared purpose brings fresh joy. Capricorn, whether renovating, decorating or repairing, progress is achieved through steady effort. Alongside responsibilities, you carve out precious time with loved ones. Aquarius, stepping into vibrant settings brings change. Though adjusting takes time, you embrace the lively energy, and a surprising offer lifts your spirits, shaping unforgettable experiences. Pisces, your charm captivates, attracting admiration and opportunities. Support arrives for plans you've long hoped to pursue. Others value your loyalty, while romance may stir. So, from the looks of it, so who's listening to this who's a Pisces and single? Because it looks like me and we might be compatible. Because mine says, look, joyful romance may blossom now. And yours says, others value your loyalty, while romance may stir. I value loyalty. You weigh options wisely, and your charm captivates, attracting admiration and opportunities. Careful planning ensures early decisions work in your favour, especially financially or with overseas matters. It looks like it's almost identical I don't know what I'm talking about. Anyway, so that was Horoscope with Russell Grant, sorry. Not me. This is what is in the I can't remember what paper I'm reading. What is it? The Sunday Star on Sunday? Daily Star on Sunday. Okay. And that, I do believe, is the end of this here recording. I will be back again tomorrow with Monday's Boring Objects, talking about comedy characters, my favourite comedy characters. So thank you for listening, and remember to be kind to yourself. You deserve to be happy. And be gentle with yourself. You deserve to feel safe. Lots of love. Bye.